streaks. Montreal's stoppage of Carolina not equaled by Cleveland, as New York's won 9 straight, the longest postseason winning streak in franchise history. They're the 13th team in NBA history to get on a 9-game run in a single postseason. Of the previous 12, all but one reached the NBA Finals, which makes sense because you win that many in a row, you're talking about spreading it out over a number of series, right? In NBA playoff history, teams who take a 2-0 lead in the best of 7 have won over 92% of the time. Most recently, it was 2020. The Knicks are the 11th team to take a 2-0 lead in the conference finals, and the previous 10 won them all. Series shifts to Cleveland, Game 3, Saturday night. Cavs look to avoid a 3-0 series deficit. No teams overcome in playoff history. Cavs, though, have been good at home this postseason. Joined now by Tim Legler, who is courtside in the Garden, where the Knicks roll to a 2-0 series lead. And Tim, the connectivity of the Knicks defense felt like a big part of this night. Cleveland started hot from 3, then couldn't buy one. Am I onto something? Is the Knicks defense the reason why they won this game tonight?
Knicks defense has turned into an elite defense here in the postseason, and they adjusted some things during the course of the year. You know, their efficiency of their offense, Scott, has helped that defense, because when you're taking the ball out of the net a lot, that's what you're going to get. Defensively, you can set up, you can see the ball in front of you, and you can execute the game plan, and you get the appropriate matchups that you want. Their offense has helped to a great degree. There's no doubt that the Cleveland Cavaliers' three-point shooting failed them in this game, because that's the shot you're going to have to make if the Knicks are going to be this connected off the dribble in the way they're going to protect the lane. You're going to have to knock down your share of three-point shots, and tonight just wasn't Cleveland's night. And on the other end, Josh Hart had an answer for that with 5 of his own, because Cleveland decided to leave him most of the night, and he made him pay.
Brunson was ordinary to below average in terms of his scoring. I think he had 17 against Atlanta, but that was the game they won by like 50 points. But he had a career high in the playoffs in assists. If you tell Cleveland and Coach Atkinson, hey, he's going to get 19, they're going to feel good about their chances. How did Brunson facilitate and put others in a position to hurt Cleveland?
He recognized immediately the shift, and the shift was this. They were going to rotate multiple bodies to his side of the floor. They let him play, obviously, one-on-one in that fourth quarter of Game 1 late. And I think now the adjustment, and he was waiting for it. He was prepared for it. He wasn't as aggressive looking for his offense. He wanted to accept 2, because that's the responsibility of a great player, and then move it out of there. Tonight was his job as a playmaker. He picked them apart. He ran the team. They had 7 turnovers as a group. A lot of that falls on the shoulders of Jalen Brunson, getting them properly spaced, reading where the traffic was coming from, and then delivering the ball where it was supposed to go to make the game very easy in 4-on-3s and 3-on-2s out of those traps.
I'm a big fan of Donovan Mitchell across the board. Everything about his constitution. At the end of this game, Tim, he's applauding to his bench. He's giving his guys a look like, we're all right, we're all right. They have to know, and their heart of hearts, Tim, we have to win a game in the Garden to win this series, and we had a 22-point lead in Game 1 and we lost it. I'm not saying they can't win this series, but when you go back home knowing what you let get away in Game 1, in your heart of hearts, do you have to feel like, I don't know how we win this series if you're the Cavs?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of been my mentality since they let that slip away. Scott, you said it. It's a math problem, right? You got to get to 4. And for the Cavs, they had a different problem coming in. They had to win a road game. The Knicks don't. And the Cavs had a road win right there in front of them. We're not able to close the deal. So I was really curious to see how they came out tonight. I expected the Knicks to be offensively early in the game, because it took them a while to find their rhythm after that layoff. And they were better offensively in the first half. But there, you look up, and the Cavs are right there. So I think they took the first punch. Emotionally, they were in the right place. But once the run came, that's when you kind of felt a little bit that loss of Game 1 carried over in that moment. Were they going to be able to answer that run or stop the bleeding if the Knicks were able to get separation in the second half and the Cavs weren't? And they still haven't solved the Jalen Brunson riddle, because he went ISO mostly in the fourth quarter overtime of Game 1, got a win. Tonight, a lot of traffic. He picks them apart. They haven't figured out that end of the floor. That's the biggest challenge for the Cavs, as well as you have to get better shooting out of your role players around the star guards. And Sam Merrill, And Max Strus, guys like that, you know how much I appreciate what they do.
Of course.
The way I made my living, and I expect them to be better at home because those guys are too elite, particularly Merrill, who had great looks in the first half and could have made a big difference. I know he's beating himself up a little bit. Those guys will be better in Cleveland. I expect the offense to be better. How do they solve this Jalen Brunson problem? That's still an issue for the Cavs.
Cleveland has been fantastic at home. They are going to have to be. New York now just 2 games away from making it to the NBA Finals. Tim Legler, appreciate the time.
Are you a crust guy? It depends if it's garlic crust. Or a good crust, like a good crust pizza. You want to say some of that? Mm-hmm. Just be dough and be nothing. Yeah. Domino's crust. The garlic crust. Joe's Pizza? Yeah. Joe's Pizza, collab. Yep.
Josh, you ready? Good. You missed a couple early, looked kind of frustrated. You slammed the ball down a little bit, it looked like. And then what were you telling yourself from there? And then how'd you feel about the way you played the rest of the game?
I don't know if we could say what he was saying to himself out loud. Yeah, I was just, those first 3, they felt good. I was kind of frustrated with it because obviously, I've been putting in the reps with Kajo and, Peter Patton. And, I was frustrated at first. I'm just like, bro, it's not translating right now. And then I know how to just keep shooting. And, if I did that, I'll be good.
Josh, Mike just finished talking about how you remind him a bit of Iggy from his time with the Warriors, and that you're both players that he needs to ignore analytics and numbers with, and just let you guys go compete. How does that make you feel? Do you feel like you're like an anti-math kind of player? Does that resonate with you?
Iggy was first off was a hell of a player. I don't know if I'm at that level, but I just try to go out there and just play my game. I'm never a huge analytics guy. At a certain point, they're a lamppost or a drunk person. You can lean on them, but it won't get you home. So at a certain point, you got to have a good feel for the game.
Oh my God, bro.
I'm not gonna lie, that was Gerald Wright, his quote, man. So shout out Jay Wright.
Wait, hold up. No, we're not moving on from that.
That's a great quote.
Oh my God.
Analytics drunk, lamppost to a drunk person. It ain't gonna get you home. You can lean on it though.
I was with Cal, so I didn't hear that.
You ain't even go to college.
Is that like your mindset coming in? Like, I want to really cover my offense?
Just seeing where the game goes. Last game, I felt was a game for us to kind of download a lot of information. And today, I just wanted to be aggressive, like I always say in playmaking. Had some looks at the basket, wanted to be aggressive. Wasn't even about scoring. It was just about, putting pressure on the defense, and just found myself in good positions. Shout out to my teammates and Josh especially.
Josh, Jalen had a playoff career high 14 assists, quite a few of them set up for three-pointers. Just what were you seeing about the adjustments they made on him defensively, and what did it do for him and their offense?
Yeah, obviously he had a huge offensive game, last game, so we knew they were going to come in with a different game plan. But I just think it shows, one, the confidence that he has, in us, and the depth of a team that we have where I don't even know how many points he scored, but we can win a game with him having 10, 11, 12 points, but, having 14 assists, getting guys involved. So I just think it shows the character of the team, character of him, and, I keep saying my fault. But it shows we can win games in different ways.
Do you think the amount of assists he threw you today shows that he actually likes you as a person?
Nah.
Okay.
Because he missed me a couple times.
Selfish, bro.
Yeah.
I got one for Cat, one for Josh. Cat, Josh obviously is a guy who plays the game so hard, tends to get frustrated with himself, it seems like. What's it like as a teammate? Just trying to know what he brings to the table and not letting him beat himself up too much about whatever may be going on?
I mean, he just impacts the game. He impacts winning. You've heard me say that a bunch of times coming into the press conferences after the game and stuff like that. He's the perfect example for any basketball player who wants to learn how to truly impact the winning of a team, and he does that at the highest level. And what he does, not only talent-wise, but mentally for our team, when he goes out there, he's hustling, he's playing that hard, you feel like you got to match his intensity. And because of him, when he goes out there and shows that kind of energy, it brings our whole group up, and it makes us have to feel like we got to meet him where he's at on the court.
Josh, do you feel like you've stayed or improved in like just staying confident, not letting like things linger? Like it got over?
Yeah. It's one of those things. One of those things I try to play with more joy, but more grace. I don't really celebrate, when I score or make a good pass and stuff like that, and I kick myself probably a little bit too much when I miss shots or make turnovers, those kind of things. So I think I started to learn to play the game and give myself more grace and not to try to be perfect. I'm happy with that.
Josh, when you're preparing for a game like this, you said it yesterday, they're going to leave you open. I mean, what's that look like for you? You said you got extra shots with Peter and Kajot. I mean, is that come with being in practice and just taking more shots? Or you get into the gym early? What's that look like for you?
Yeah. I don't get to the gym too early. I got kids, you know what I mean? So I try to drop them off at school and get some treatment before I get on the court. But it's just improving, reps and the consistency of those reps. I think for me, it's not like I got to go out there and make 500 threes. Because if I go out and focus on making 500 threes, sometimes the mechanics slip just trying to make shots. So we're doing more so smaller sample sizes of precise details and focusing on the fundamentals of my shot and perfecting that. And I think if I do that, I'll be in a good position. And I think that's mostly what it is. It's just continuing to do that. We had a walkthrough today. I got in early, got shots with him. So it's just the consistency and the reps for me.
I wanted to ask you, I know you guys are locked in, but how close from the NBA Finals do you feel right now?
I mean, we don't feel any closer than we did last game or any game. It's back to, in our minds, it's 0-0. We got to win the next game. It's the most important game of the year, and that's how we treat it. We're hungry for the opportunity to go out there and play basketball at the highest level, but we also understand that you can never be satisfied in these positions in the playoffs. So the mindset's going to continue.